Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're loving the music right now. You know what it is. It's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that. I don't have my mug right now. It is sitting in the middle of the studio. And I know you guys are seeing me right now through this lovely HD 1080p webcam that I have directly on me as a selfish, narcissistic person that I am. By the way, I just want to say that having shows once a week is sometimes can be depressing. I miss my audience. I miss you guys. But listen, it's your boy, aka Mr. Smack Your great grandmother. And I just want to say that I am here with my illustrious co-host, Mr. Grant. Oh, we're going to do this differently today.
Oh.
I am here with the lovely. Yes.
AKA internal audience.
Okay, yes. Talk to the people.
Hi, it's me. I'm back with some IA, aka internal audience, aka.
I had to do that just one time. Okay, go ahead.
AKA back ribs.
Quiet storm.
I need to get the whole thing right, not just say back rubs and ribs.
Y'all do it so
Succulent ribs and back rubs. IA is back with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Didn't she ditch us last week?
She did not ditch
Yeah, she was gone for a minute. Now she's back with the jump off.
Okay. And I'm here with my other co-host.
Everybody, you know what it is. It's your boy, Mr. Grantastic, aka the Professor, aka Negro Suave, aka Can You Choo Woo Woo in season 2.
Oh, snap. And if y'all are watching, we have a very lovely special guest tonight. Her name is
Yasmin Barracuda.
Oh,
Barracuda.
Yasmin the Barracuda. Listen, I know, right? We're crazy. Listen. So we have revamped the studio. Obviously, we're not done yet. We're about 80% done. And the cameras are not set up properly, so everyone bear with us for tonight. We're getting things together. I want to do a quick update real quick. So, speaking of update, let me go back to me real quick. So, True Radio has been growing amongst the Nation of Islam, obviously, because of the interview we did with Dr. Wesley Muhammad. So next week we have a very special guest coming on, Brother Abdul Malik Warren 2X. That's coming on. I'm working on getting Brother Ben X to come on. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency, stocks, investments, digital real estate, how to make a couple $1,000s every week on the internet, things like that. Pimping your social media is what we're going to call that show whenever he comes on. Pimping your social media. So I'm not going to do big books and business tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I know. But if you're a member on TrueRadio.net, you can click on a link that will take you to our Amazon affiliation program, where you can see the True Radio library that I'm building for all the books that I promote on the show. You'll be able to go on Amazon, type in True Radio, get a discount, and be able to get the books. Working with that right now. Also, we're working on different sponsorships. Shout out to a lot of great people. We're about to get a liquor endorsement. We're working on some things. Food endorsements are coming.
It's Fat Boys on this show.
Yeah, Amazon affiliation is already happening. Yeah, super Fat Boys. Like, I was looking at pictures of myself and I almost got depressed, bro. Like, ouch. Anyway.
I'm twice the man I used to be.
No cap. So anyway, so we're gonna switch and we're gonna go straight to Chew and Choke segment because I don't have a books and business. I will say this. Our special guest tonight is an actress, is a model. Please support everything that she will be promoting tonight. Please support her. Follow her. And maybe later on we'll have her give out our Cash App or whatever, or PayPal, whatever. You guys can cash mop her. Okay, anyway. Grantastic, take it away.
All right, everybody, you already know what it is. This is our segment on the show that we call Chew or Choke. So we give you some topics, some sayings, some speeches, some statements from over the past week, 2 weeks for certain individuals. But if you like it,
fired.
Hold on, you hold the sign. So if you like it, everyone, and then you will put chew. If you like, you digging it, you good. If you hate it, it don't feel good, you don't like it, you will put up the choke. So those in the chat, you may participate as well. So we got some stuff that's been going on. Some stuff's been on and popping, as Chris Brown would say. So our first thing we're going to talk about is, hopefully I say this man's last name right, Daniel Kaluuya, the actor. Is that his house?
Hallelujah.
Get Out.
Kaluuya, yeah, Get Out. So Get Out. Also did Fred Hampton for
That's true.
Judas and the Black Messiah. So he won Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars yesterday, which was cool and all. The real thing was the moment that he had after, where he was hugging Fred Hampton Jr. and they was just hugging and embracing each other. So what do you guys think about his win as the Best Supporting Actor, and then also having that moment as he played Fred Hampton and had that moment with Fred Hampton's son? What do y'all think about that? Think it was good for the culture? Put Chew. You think it was just like, it's whatever? Put Choke. So go ahead, y'all. What y'all feel? How y'all feel about that? It was a nice little moment. It was legit like 2 minutes of hugging. So, do you think it did a good enough job? Do you think he did a good job of depicting Fred Hampton? Fred Hampton, what do y'all think? That's why I brought it up.
Really?
So I was like,
That's a secondary question though.
Yeah, that's not the original, right?
What was the original
this
question?
original is just is it good for the culture though? Like them just seeing Fred Hampton Jr. and Daniel embracing each other after he's winning Best Supporting Actor for his role as his father.
Oh yeah, I can agree. I can chew on that. I can smoke a bag of that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
figured it'd be like, all right, we want to get to the nitty gritty. Could be some, some disagreement. But I think this was a nice little moment. Especially in like black cinema, because it's like our work is getting better. Like,
Yeah, no cap.
our work is getting much better. Okay,
Yeah, no cap.
cool. All right, y'all put it down.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
But the follow-up question was a good one.
What was the follow-up question? I forgot.
You said,
Oh, did he do a good job?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that, Mr. Choo,
of was apprehensive.
because you were about to say, oh,
No.
hell no.
Did he do a good job
Well,
playing?
does that mean he did a good job if his son approved?
I would think that they all were. They had their hands all in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they had the final say so. Who played their dad? Played his dad.
I would have to say, not to cut you off.
No, I'm done.
I would have to say, honestly, I think he did a decent job of playing Fred Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's kind of hard to mimic icons like that.
That's also,
You know what I'm saying?
I get what
So,
you mean.
From as far as if I take my own bias away,
Mhm.
just his acting alone,
Mhm.
he did an awesome job.
Gotcha.
But if I put my bias in it, he did a decent job.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But not
Yeah.
trash. We're not saying
No,
trash.
no.
Oh, okay.
No, far from it. Far from it.
No.
Yeah. Please believe. Do you like the pink eye?
I love it.
It
It's
matches
so
the
girly.
lip gloss. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
Stop it.
Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Your ash might match your shirt.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, we're gonna go to another second one. I hate you, Lord. My heart and soul. I just want you to know that. Anyways, all right. Next on Choo and Choo. So we're gonna bring up this particular artist. She's a gospel artist. Her name is Amber B.
Boo.
She won Sunday's Best on BET on season 4.
Boo.
So I didn't get to her statement yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So her statement, they were doing an interview on
Boo.
on All Black. Okay, please support that All Black. That's All Black Network. So her statement was this: we're talking about R&B singers and gospel singers, and so she was saying today's gospel artists are more talented than today's R&B artists. Talented. Choo or choke? What do y'all think? She said so. Today's gospel artists are more talented than today's R&B singers.
I
Yeah.
would say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got
We have some smart people in here today.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Barracuda.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, Barracuda.
I just think that gospel music is like people take that. They don't really what's the word for it? Like cherish it because it is a good group of music.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like today's R&B, they just talk and certain things like drugs and all this other stuff. When it's gospel, it's more peaceful and it's more like church uplifting and like more about life. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel you.
Who are actually R&B like today? Who
Is it my
besides-
turn?
Besides her, I would say her. Can we qualify her as R&B?
I don't even know who that is, but I will say that.
Her?
Neo Soul R&B.
No. I know who her is, but
Oh.
I thought the gospel artist that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I don't really know. She
Okay.
just won a contest.
Okay, well,
So, yeah, but go ahead.
I mean, there's the whole they call it now whisper R&B. There's a lot of whispering going on in R&B.
Mhm.
So I will say some of the songs do hit. I do like some of the up and coming or the independent or underground, whatever you want to call them, R&B artists. But when I was listening to mainstream music, a lot of times I flipped over to the gospel station because the music, whether you're Christian or not, I feel like the music was popping. Like I knew a lot of the songs, and even now when I'm flipping back through, I'm just like, to me, there's a lot of talented. I mean, think of it, a lot of R&B singers come from gospel.
Yeah.
That's a
So-
fact. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
True. That is very true.
That's a
Yeah, I feel like that's probably what's missing. You don't see as many of that in R&B now. So
yeah.
I'll have to agree
I
with
can
her.
smoke a bag of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can smoke a bag of
I'm
that.
smoking that.
I don't know for real. Now, I think when it comes to the word talented, I think that's where it's like, all right, like, because I know a lot of gospel artists who can actually play multiple instruments. So R&B, I get surprised when someone actually plays an instrument now, because I usually see them as like the performer.
Mhm.
I don't really see them often, besides like a few people who are like her. Hers is a prodigy.
That's
She's
true.
like, doesn't matter. She can anything she touches, she can play.
That's true.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like talent wise, like I can kind of see what she's saying. I just need to know who you are when you're trying to give, you're trying to come for that smoke. So maybe somebody on higher stature should probably say that. But I do kind of agree a little bit. Yeah, okay. All right, let's get to a statement now. This is the one I think is we're gonna split the decision down here. We're gonna talk like it's a boxing terms. All right. So here's a term that I saw on a lot of Instagram. There are the grams of Insta that also is known as. All right, so here's the quote, everyone. Make sure you're listening. Make sure y'all listening.
Okay.
You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. And that was like their way of trying to, So again, I'll say it. So you're allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. How do y'all feel about that? Chew or a choke?
That's a yeah.
Woo, woo. It's season 2. Apparently, there's someone thinks that it's a gap. Well, Mr. Choo, since it's a gap, I'm assuming that's a choke, correct?
Okay, so for the listening audience, repeat the question one more time so I can let everyone know why.
That's a yeah.
All right. So the statement is, because these are one of those feel good statements that you read and you're supposed to feel encouraged to do something.
Yeah.
All right. So you are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time, kind of implying that like you are great even though you're working toward
Okay, that's how I feel about that.
Okay.
You're either a masterpiece or you're not.
I
must just highly disagree with that. I think every masterpiece is defined as what? Genius.
A complete work.
Okay.
Talented in their work or what?
I think it's your interpretation of it.
Okay. Well,
I think because people put these little Instagram things out there for you, feeling in the spirit. So I think it's
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I think people are multidimensional. Like every great figure you've heard in the past had a demonic side. They had another side to them that you was like, oh, that's a little checkered. So yeah, and then you always hear people say, oh, this didn't happen overnight, or I have my insecurities, I have my flaws. So yeah, I think
yeah.
I just had to do it. Was funny. It was funny.
It was cute.
Yeah, I totally agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that people I feel like all people are talented and they don't know it.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
see your perspective.
I thought I said that for a second. I looked down, I know that, and I just got really scared.
Oh snap! Okay, go ahead.
But no, oh god. Okay, so for example, myself, I want to say that I'm talented, but when I was coming up and starting out, I definitely wasn't. But I knew it was there potentially, but I knew I had to grow from it. So I'm a work in progress. And I feel like that I came a long way from 16 years old because I accomplished so much and I can still accomplish so much more, just like everyone else can. So people that are famous today and like, I just feel like that no one is ever going to reach their limit. No one is ever going to be perfect. We're aiming to be perfect and we're not going to be perfect. You only can be better from your last.
Yes.
That's how I feel every time I do a project or something. Like, I look at it like, okay, I like this, I didn't like that. I want to be better than one. So that's how I see it, as like working to be better. So if you're talented, you can do you can do it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You still got more to do.
Okay.
Is that different than masterpiece? Is that
I think that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's like what is your definition of a masterpiece?
My definition of a masterpiece is a finished product.
Okay.
There are people that I view as a finished product. Let me explain.
Okay.
There are people that have reached the pinnacle of their growth. So according to who they are a finished product. There are people that are still evolving. And when I say that, let's think about the older generation for a second, right? The older generation, they have certain belief systems and certain things that they do that I necessarily feel like they've reached their pinnacle. Like they gave up the fight kind of thing. They just settled for what life gave them after certain victories. But my generation and under us, I'm not going to reveal my age right now. But I feel like we're the ones that are actually striving for evolution. So we can never really be a masterpiece because we're always striving. We always had something else. We gotta remember, like the older generation, like the internet and all that was viewed as like the Antichrist when it was being populated. You know what I'm saying? Like we were born into a world of my first game console was Atari. Like my parents didn't have a game console. You know what I'm saying? Like so things like that. So like it went from Atari to like freaking like we have like freaking PS5 now.
Yeah.
Where like it's daggone like taking you and putting you on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're constantly evolving because of the society we live in, but the older generation, they've hit their pinnacle. If that makes sense.
Their peak, what I've noticed is that their peak really was if you got a job that you could keep for like 30, 40 years and you bought a house, like you can't.
That's facts. Work for somebody else is their pinnacle when
having a house.
I'm sorry.
And you know, like that's the peak for them. Not saying like it's a bad mindset, but that was the world they lived in. Like that was the cap for them.
Yeah.
Was just
They didn't teach entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Where you work the job to learn skills to eventually be able to build your own.
Yeah.
Or to partner with someone and build an empire. They just was like you pretty much suck if you don't
have a job.
Yeah.
And die at that job. Because that's what they're looking at.
Now, remind you, this is some banal, and we're not talking about them scumbag niggas that's just not doing nothing with life at all. We're not talking about them. We're talking about people that really want to do something with life. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was torn between that one because the masterpiece that was the key word that I was like, But I don't know if it's like a man thing as well because, like, I really think that, like, I'm a work in progress. I know what the masterpiece can be.
Did you just say that's a man's thing?
No, I'm saying like we agree. And we agreed on separately. So I was saying like I kind of do choke on this. Because I'm just like, I can understand where you're coming from with that, where there's constantly progress, right? But masterpiece is just like, that's like a defined moment where it's like, it's like, you know. And so I don't know if you can do both at the same time. I also agree like there is like a peak. There's a vertex to it. Yeah. And that may be where your masterpiece is. It's like there. Because that's life trajectory. Like you go up, you have your little climax, and then you go into the earth, which is where you came.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I was like kind of split, like Choo Chuck on that one.
Okay.
Actually, I do have one more.
You got one more?
I got one more.
Okay.
Y'all know who Raymond John is? Shark Tank. Y'all know who that guy?
Oh, the FUBU.
Yeah, FUBU.
Yes.
For us, by us. Everyone is trying to do FUBU now. All right, so you got a little controversy this week. So DMX passed away, and his funeral and everything was this past week. That was one of the most intense funerals I've ever seen, especially when he put him on the monster truck, and then everybody filed through the city. That was pretty intense. It was a very appropriate. However, so Raymond John went and praised the fact that DMX family and everyone let Farrakhan speak at his funeral, and then everyone gave him hell and dragged him through. But then he deleted his tweet.
Jeez.
So what do you feel about that part? So he said, hey, you guys let Farrakhan speak. That was great. Everyone dragged him. but then he kind of reneged and deleted the tweet. So how y'all feel about that? Choo, you think like he probably should have done
Thank
that?
you.
Chokers, it's like he shouldn't have deleted the tweet. He should have went in deeper.
I gotta choke.
Mm.
That's just my personal, but yeah, I'm just gonna choke on that. There is nothing that Minister Farrakhan said during that speech that I would condemn.
Mm-hmm.
People have to remember that Black folks in American society have been conditioned a certain way. And we have to fight for certain liberations that other people don't have to worry about fighting for. Even in this current presidency, there has been executive orders and things signed for the betterment of other ethnic groups or classifications of gender that Black folks has been fighting for since the Emancipation Proclamation.
But who got him in the office, by the way?
Yeah, that was us. Because everyone thought that Kamala Harris was Black, but she's actually not. But anyway, I said all that to say that I'm going to discuss my response to dude deleting his tweet and all that when we have Warren X on the show next week.
Ooh, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm gonna save the juicy stuff for then. Yeah, I just, oh man, I'm gonna just say this: Khazarians are not Jewish. They're not Jews.
Oh, we going in. See, Barracuda is what I say. Sometimes it's like all
Yeah.
fun games,
I'm sorry.
and then
So
and then we go in.
Khazarians, the descendants of Khazarians that we call Ashkenazi, but for some reason the Anti-Defamation League said that you cannot present truth when someone says that they are of a certain ethnic group. That's considered hate. So if I tell you the truth about where you really come from, that's considered hate. But I can tell a Black person, you're really an African. That's not hate. But if I tell a Jew, you're really from Khazaria. You really were pushed out of Khazaria because of Genghis Khan, and you're the descendants of those that came from a specific mountain. Historically, I'm not bashing, I would be labeled an anti-Semitic. How can I be an anti-Semitic when I'm a Hebrew? I'm actually Semitic. It should be Shemitic, but not. But anyway, so yeah, I just think that people don't like Minister Farrakhan because he speaks harsh truths about the condition of Black folks. Instead of having a heart of humility and bringing him at a table to have a discussion about historical facts that because you have to remember he wrote 2 books and 90% of those books came from Jewish rabbis who admitted the true history of their people. So it's not like he's making this up. So we're talking about someone who was so powerful that he was banned from television for 20 years and still has a huge following. Obviously, he's spitting something. I mean, you're talking about someone who put together one of the greatest, largest, peaceful marches, protests, speeches in American history, to where the police officers literally, and I was there in person, the Capitol Police chief told the FOI, we might as well just clock out and go home because y'all got everything under control. Was no one got a speeding ticket, no one got a parking citation. Everyone followed the American law 100%. I just want to throw that out there. We didn't storm the Capitol and okay, anyway, go ahead. I'm not gonna get political tonight, but let's go ahead.
For those who didn't see the funeral, like what was the problem with Raymond saying shouting out that Farrakhan got to speak.
Just because it's Farrakhan, honestly.
So are black people now against Farrakhan?
Actually,
I didn't get that
hold
memo.
on. We about to
Let's say that for next week.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring that up next week. Yes,
Okay.
yeah. That's just shows.
Okay. All right.
Because I don't know what he said or who he is. I mean,
It wasn't even about what he said. Though.
Okay.
It's just about who he is.
I don't know who
Yeah.
he is, so
Yeah.
I can't say.
I thought the last time and the last time before that, people was rocking with Farrakhan. What changed?
We're gonna talk about that next week.
All right.
So for Yasmin's sake, Farrakhan is a black man like me who's been around since Malcolm X.
Okay.
He was actually one of Malcolm X's students under the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and he done a lot of great things for black people, but he spoke a lot of harsh truths, and he didn't water it down for white society.
Okay.
So everyone that he rubbed wrong, that have power, have been trying to silence him. And because he has certain religious beliefs and because he's so boisterous about black people, he's condemned. That's the overall. Now you do your own research, you do your own thing. I view him as a hero. I'm black, obviously, but I view him as a hero, and I mean that. And it's not just a hero of black people. He's helped Indians. He's helped Asians. He's helped. People don't even realize this. He's even helped Caucasian people. People don't even realize this because they want to view him as such a hater of other races, but he never preaches hate. He only preaches to black people to love yourself. And the reason why the condition of black America is the way it is because we were taught by our oppressors to hate ourselves. He teaches us to love ourselves. If I clean up my own community, the world doesn't have to worry about me no more. And then I become self-sufficient. I don't need you no more. Then we can live in peace. That's what he teaches. But it's viewed as hate.
Okay.
So yeah, but do your own research. I love the minister, and I'm always going to defend him because to me, he's one of the greatest spokesmen for black America outside of Malcolm and outside of Elijah Muhammad. So yeah, that's just my personal preference because I'm black, so yeah, I think that if all of America was to sit down and listen to him, then it would benefit all of America, no matter what your ethnic background is, what your color of skin is, or anything. I think if you sat down and had a conversation with this man, you will realize that he is more Christ-like than most Christians profess to be, and he's not even a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. So, yeah. Anyway, are you finished with Choo and Choke?
Yes, please. Yes. Okay.
Okay, listen. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick 2.2, and when we come back, we are going to definitely have a deep dialogue on models, actresses, and relationships. We have a very special guest. Drop a like. She's drop dead gorgeous. We'll be right back after this quick 2.2. I know y'all probably wondering, did Mr. Randy Choo become soft? Why is he listening to smooth R&B jazz? You're probably wondering, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that. Listen, I'm gonna say this. Tonight we have a very special guest. But before I get to her, I must introduce you to my co-host on the show. You know who I am already. I'm Mr. Smack, your great-great-great-great-grandmother. I'm here with my illustrious co-host.
Oh, it's your boy, Mr. Fantastic, aka the Professor, aka Negro Suave, aka Choo in season 2.
And I am also here with the lovely
Yasmin Barracuda.
Oh snap, Yasmin Barracuda. And my other co-host that left me abandoned last week.
Not abandoned.
Yes, extremely abandoned and lonely last week.
Goodness.
The lovely
IA, aka internal audience, aka she's back this week, aka
Quiet Storm.
hey.
Succulent ribs and back rubs.
And baby oil.
That's what y'all like.
Dun, dun, dun. So listen, so we have a actress, model, extraordinaire in studio tonight, and we have some questions for her. But before we get into the questions, I want you to tell the audience some of the things you've done in the past as far as your work and what you're working on currently.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I started off last year doing this featured film with this guy named Brad Twig, and I was like a featured extra in it.
Okay.
And because of that, because he didn't know if I was an actor or not, he just needed someone ASAP.
Okay.
And someone recommended me, and so then he was like, "Oh, I like your look, and I have upcoming gigs, and you look like you could fit."
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, I've been getting booked by him nonstop.
Okay.
And so last year, I did my first lead role film called Shriek Show.
Okay. Okay.
And
Congrats. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You better go.
They're filming 3 more weekends here in May, and then they're going to try to have it out by fall.
Okay. Okay.
They want to try to do Netflix, but they're like twerking around with it, trying to see where it can go.
Okay.
They're taking their time with this one because it's like a really big production. They actually have like people they flew over here to be a part of it.
Okay.
And then since my scene had finished from that, I had recently started working on this film called Rocky Horror.
Okay.
It's a segment, part of the film.
Okay.
And that part of the segment is called Mr. Gross.
Oh snap.
And because this one has like a high fan base, they want to put it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one was kind of crazy because I was trapped in the basement.
Oh snap.
And like,
Hold on, what kind of film was it? Was it a
horror film?
Oh, it was a horror film.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you have to scream?
Oh yeah. I'm surprised my voice is still here.
Yeah,
You know how many takes they do? You have to
yeah,
scream?
yeah.
Oh my god! But no, it's fun. And again, it was with Brad Twig. I love working with him because it gives me different roles.
Okay.
And so when I'm not filming, getting other gigs, when I'm working with him, he's challenging me to do certain things, and like I'm really comfortable with them and the crew and everything.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
when you're working with new people, you're just like, I don't know you yet. I'm just kind of shy.
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
So because I've worked with him multiple times, like he made me a victim, he made me a killer, and I actually played a killer a lot, and I don't know why. Do I look like a killer?
Those be the ones.
Well, you know, the quiet, cute ones be the ones, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
What's
snap.
the killer?
There's a whole show that's devoted to people
I
who
mean,
wasn't the killer,
yeah.
but became the killer.
Yeah. First, yeah.
I mean, they put a cast call like for a certain killer, and I put my headshot up there. I'm just like, I'm just thinking about it. They're gonna cast me for a killer. Like, do I look like? Oh, yeah, she could be a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Or maybe you're just a good actor.
yeah. Well, they didn't know me yet.
Oh, snap.
So I'm just like,
Oh.
Did you put like cyanide in someone's food or something like that? Because you got that look. You just like drop. You know, like go eat your eggs, baby.
You're not going to leave me.
But
Go
I
ahead.
think the hardest part was being the victim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you have to change your mindset, and you have to like really think like someone's been through this, and you
Wow.
gotta just get there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really hard. But I've been the victim probably about 3 times, so I kind of can do it.
So
with
I
that.
want to say this. Do you know that the ancient word, the etymology of the word hypocrite,
Mm.
literally means actor?
Okay.
So it means to portray something that you're
Sure.
originally not.
Not right.
Yeah. So kudos number one for doing film. I know that's a rough industry.
Yeah.
Because especially in today's society, because if you're not doing particular things off camera, then it's hard to get certain roles. And obviously you've been getting roles by the same guy. And he's not just looking at your appearance, but he's watching your skill set.
Yeah.
And your ethnic background is Arab and white.
Yes.
So there's a specific look that you have on camera that can present a certain character or bring a certain audience to the film. Has there ever been a time in your career where you felt like I just can't do this role, and why?
Yeah, there was one where I actually had to be like a cancer patient,
Okay.
and I don't like to take on those roles because to me it feels, I know I'm portraying to be somebody I'm not, but it's just that's a really harsh and rough road.
Mm-hmm,
And to me, I feel like that if I do that, I don't want later down the road that can actually happen to me.
Wow. Yeah.
I think
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just feel like that no one can really be that type of person because no one is really living that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that no matter how hard you try, at the end of the day, I don't think I'll ever be good enough to be that part.
Yeah.
Because of someone's situation.
Yeah.
So I won't take any health problems or anything like that because that's just how I feel at the end of the day. Like, and besides, like, I really don't want to jinx anything on myself for doing that. So, yeah.
So is before I let Mr. Grantastic or I ask you questions, is there any other films or anything you're doing? And you're in Maryland.
Yeah.
You're in my homeland.
Yeah.
That's
PG County.
PG County.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, pretty girl County.
Yes, I'm pretty girl in PG. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Grantastic, do you want to ask a question?
Actually, I do have a question.
Okay.
It's serious but silly at the same time.
Okay.
How did you discover your model face?
Oh.
Because you know you gotta have like the face. So how do you like discover your model face?
Looking in the mirror.
Well, what do you do to get your model face? Like you gotta have like sucking your cheeks, press your cause you know there's a TikTok. You gotta what is it like? You know, smile with your eyes.
Smizing.
Smizing. Yeah.
Smile. Okay, there it is. Is that actually like the model face?
Some, yeah.
Really?
But I'm more like because people are like, you need to smile more and stuff like that. But I feel like that I'm more the serious kind.
Okay.
Because you know, like because to me, when I saw modeling, I just always saw blank face and just walking down the runway. But now they want like, smile, you're pretty. And then I just got used to doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't really like my smile.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's cringy to me. I can't do it.
Gotcha.
So in the mirror, I'm just doing all these type of serious faces, and I'm just like, and then when I get photographed and I see, okay, I like that look, so then I practice to make sure that's how I am. So I have a signature look.
I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't let my wife be a model. I couldn't do it. Like I would probably shoot up the whole photo shoot. Yeah, my wife is gorgeous, so I couldn't let her be an actress or a model. I'm just like, she would have to have already been that before we got into the relationship. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
she's done acting before.
Yeah, like
that's the thing. I know. I
cat.
feel like our kids are going to do acting though, because I've done a little bit of directing and acting before, and she was like in the theater. So you know, I'm like, like I did do sports, but I did do theater for a little bit. I'm like, she did theater. I'm like, yo, we're gonna have some really theater ass kids.
Yo, no cat though. My I got twin girls, right? So I got 5. Me and my wife got 5 kids.
A whole heap of
so kids. Yeah, we got whole. So my twin girls, like, they are very, very good at acting, and I'll be watching them in the house just interacting with each other, and I'll be like, the hell, like I need a camera on them. But at the same time, like I don't really want my daughters in that type of world because I'm a psycho when it comes to people I love. Like I'm overprotective. Like I just can't help it. And like to imagine like someone watching them on TV or a movie and having like their poster on the wall and like just like that whole. I'm not gonna lie. So when I was growing up, right?
Story
time.
So when I was growing up, I had a huge crush on Jennifer Aniston.
Really?
And I never knew why.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay.
This is very interesting. Now, she was like number 4 on my crush list.
Okay.
Number 1 was Sanaa Lathan. Oh my Jesus.
Okay.
Woo!
Come on back to us.
Okay. I'm back. Oh, so anyway, And then Neil Long was number 2. Oh my
Neil Long.
Jesus.
Neil Long is very pretty.
Did y'all
Jesus.
see the interview where she was like,
What was that?
how many times she's been referenced in rap songs? She like it's been like hundreds. And
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
like, not near one of them called me and asked me if they could do that.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, no other, because it's Neil Long and a cherry thong with the lights off. It's just
Yeah. Okay. So, obviously. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have any questions or anything you wanted to say?
No,
Okay.
you got it.
So,
we're just curious about Jennifer Aniston.
Right. I was like, get to it. Like, get to it.
2, who's number 3, and then
Yeah.
So anyway, so let me say this. So, being a model and being an actress in relationships that you've had in your life, has your work made it difficult to date?
hell yeah.
Okay.
You was there?
Yeah.
You work with kids.
Hell
It
to
should be
the
difficult.
motherfucking
Oh,
yeah.
You work
okay.
with kids. It should be difficult.
Oh shit.
Talk to me.
It has because, for example, like if I have a role where I have to be in a relationship, and
See, this is why my wife, that nigga. I mean, ooh.
Can I pose one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the moral of the story is if the woman is already in that said, because this, never mind. This, okay.
No. Speak your mind. This is our platform.
Remember we were talking about hoes be winning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that's what. I'm not connecting those
Disclaimer.
dots. Right. Not at all.
That we know.
I
You don't know what you want.
don't call women hoes, but that being said, like, is it okay if she's living or doing said thing prior to y'all getting in a relationship?
Absolutely.
And then you know what she does, so if you approach her, you're cool with it. But if you're in a relationship with her and then she says, "Hey, I want to be a model, actress, or HOE," not that they're all in the same category, it's a problem. I maybe the whole part, but the model
For
or the actress,
Randy Curtis, if you're not already that, then yeah, I'm gonna have an issue.
what's the
But that
difference?
doesn't make sense because they're doing something you don't like.
No. This is a difference because I was already at a certain status going into my relationship with my now wife. I had groupies and everything. I was already in a type of celeb status. And I dialed back because I never wanted to jeopardize my family. If my wife was already an actor or a model or something like that, I already would know what I was getting myself into because obviously, first of all, my wife is gorgeous. Secondly, niggas will try to gut anything walking. Like, I know how men operate. Certain men will present themselves as such just to get the cookies, and then once they get it, then they'll leave. I personally, with my wife, cannot accept. If she wanted to be a model, that's cool. But your breast and your butt and your vagina belongs to me because I already put a ring on your finger.
You gonna start something, boy?
Yes.
I kind of got what you were saying. Like if she was already in that.
If I'm paying for your lifestyle, if the only
Okay.
thing you have to worry about is what you want to eat in life, if the only thing you really are stressing about is do I want this food or that food, like my wife don't have to worry about anything at all. She don't even worry about the gas tank. She just starts the car and go. Cause I'm already checking. Okay, is it close to 8? Let me go ahead and fill this thing up. My wife don't have to worry about squat in life except for if she wants to go to work or not. That's the only thing she has to worry about. Do I want to get up and go to work, or do I want to take the day off, or do I just want to quit? Like, that's my wife's worry. What do I want to eat today? What clothes do I want to get? Do I want to go buy new clothes? That's my wife's worry. She doesn't have to worry about all this stuff. in the world of Kevin Samuels, I will be considered a high value man. Just saying. So
You ain't lying.
if I'm providing that type of lifestyle for you, what would be the purpose if it's something you've never desired to just all of a sudden out of the blue be an Aisha Carey?
She might have desired it, but never maybe had the platform.
Gentlemen, if you land wood right, you never have to worry about your woman stepping out on you. If you treat them right, if the sex is right, and when I say treat them right, I'm not just talking about providing. I'm talking about providing a platform of emotional stability for them where they don't have to worry about certain stuff.
Yeah.
I'm far from perfect. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if everything's right, if the wood is right, the bank account is right, what's the point of you wanting outside of attention?
It might be her passion. It might be her calling. It might be something she's always wanted to do. Or she, people grow and expand and like, you know what? This is of interest. It's
no, and that's cool. But that's not my wife's passion.
Okay.
Which is why she's Mrs. Curtis.
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now, if that was her passion, cool. I'm not worried.
I found out what you were saying.
Okay, talk to me.
I feel like that if you knew that she was like that before you were with her, that was your mindset.
Yeah.
Okay. But then I feel like that because you're with her now and you're used to her being the way she is now and you're not expecting that to happen. And you won't be comfortable with that because that's not who you married. That's not who you were with.
Yes.
I think that's what I kind of got from
Yeah.
And I kind of can understand.
Yeah.
So do you think like wanting to be an actress or like model is for attention then?
No.
Aisha Curry.
No.
That's my question.
I'm setting a certain pattern. If you notice,
no talent. I'm sorry.
I reference Aisha. I reference.
Hello Fresh is not cooking, okay?
Yeah.
She's got a cookbook.
When a producer sets up your meal on the table and says all you have to do is read this script, you don't know how to cook. No.
Let me say this.
She's been an NBA player.
I'm not insecure. If my wife was to step out on me, that's her choosing. I can't control what another person does, and I'm not going to worry myself about that. Like, that's too stressful. The fact that I put a ring on your finger, I'm no longer worried about your actions. There's a level of trust there that if you violate that trust, that's on you. Mm-hmm. There's going to be somebody else that's going to value what I bring to the table. So whatever you do, you do. I'm not going to trip on that. I'm not controlling like that. I don't care. What I am saying is, if we are already in a relationship and that's not a passion of yours or that's not who you are, because my wife isn't that type of person. She's shy.
That's actually very true.
She's very shy.
If your wife would be like, I want to be an actress, I would be like that would catch me off guard.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm about to put on my Timbs and stomp that bitch over there.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, like low key, my wife a thug. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was like,
you know what I mean?
It's right,
like if I'm shooting somebody, she gonna clean the gun and throw it away from me. Like she's a thug. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if she wasn't a thug, if she was a model or an actress, I could accept that from the front because that's who she is. That's even if she wasn't in that role and she said this is a desire that I have, I will already know. I will already pick up on the signals. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I say it? If you were approached and say, I need you to model for A, B, and C or be an actress for A, B, and C, and you did it, and you were in a relationship with someone like a Randy Choo, I will already understand a certain level of exposure that you carry because I understand you, the individual.
Right.
Understand Yasmin, the individual. Yasmin cannot be, she's not the type of, I don't get the vibe from her like you can just approach her in the mall and be like, hey, I saw you in this magazine, let's hook up.
Yeah, no.
She's not that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She laid that right there.
Yeah,
Like,
nah.
oh,
So-
that's all you miss.
What I'm getting at is there are certain women that want those positions because they're thoughts, not because that's the passion.
Like for the attention aspect of it.
Because at the end of the day, for me, I want to be known for my work. I don't want to be known for certain situations that I do. So I just want to know for my talent. For acting, I like to entertain. Or for modeling, like some people that like certain types of photo shoots, like certain types of things that I might not be comfortable with because I want to be known for me. I don't want to be like, oh, I know that girl because of this.
Right,
Like
okay,
this girl, she's really good. I've seen her.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's people's choice, and I can understand because certain fields recommend different things. But for your wife or something, if she did want to pursue that, there's different types of modeling. There's different types of things.
Yes.
So if you're like, I
She
don't want
definitely
her to
could be
do
a model.
swimwear or something like that, then you can be like, I don't mind her walking down the runway just doing fashion.
So
there's
you're
like certain types of
so
fields
you're a
that-
model and an actress that doesn't have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
See, that's one of my questions, though. Like, do you associate modeling and acting with someone who's seeking attention, a thought, or OnlyFans?
I
'Cause
don't.
To me, that's something different.
I don't.
That,
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
acting
yeah.
and modeling is a career.
I feel like majority, not all, but majority of women that are on OnlyFans are doing that because that's the only thing they're good for.
They're fans.
The only thing they're good for is hustling their body for men who don't have nothing else better to do in life except for sit in front of a computer. I feel like even men who are rich and feel like they should have multiple women, I feel like they may use those type of women for pleasure and not actual, and I say that because I feel like women shouldn't be just used for pleasure. I feel like women should be valued for what they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't bring nothing to the table, like we have a guest on the show right now who's an actress and a model that doesn't have an OnlyFans. She brings something to the table. She has a certain moral compass about herself where she's not going to violate that no matter how big the check is. You know what I'm saying? IA is a co-host on this show that I feel like isn't the type of woman that no matter how high of a value of a man you are, she's going to compromise her integrity to be with you. So
We're just assuming I doesn't have an OnlyFans, so right?
yeah,
no one asked.
you know what I'm saying?
Don't judge me.
No,
go ahead.
Which is
when
showing
you
that.
ask me about relationships,
Okay.
when I'm like anyone that I start to talk to, I'm like, okay, so I do acting. How do you feel about that? That's not going to change because that's my career. That's what I
Yeah, absolutely.
But
you bring that to the
there is a
table.
boundary that I am nice enough to ask. How would you feel if I had to kiss somebody on set?
Right.
And then they're like, oh, I don't like it. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because
But
I have to take away certain things.
Yeah. But see, to me, that's unfair to you.
Yeah.
Because you bring acting to the table.
It's a job. At the end of the day, I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's just. But I mean, I can understand because they're like, man, you're my girl. I can't imagine you just. But it's not like, oh, I want to.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I asked them, and the other times when they're like, no, I'm not comfortable with it. So then I didn't really take gigs that had that. Because I want to respect them at the same time.
Okay.
Well, hold on. I still, hold on.
Yeah, hold on. We'll come back to that.
Right. Yeah.
But
Finish him.
y'all gonna make me forget what I was gonna say.
Okay.
But yeah, I forgot what I said. Go ahead. I'm gonna think about it. What you guys say?
No, I was just saying. So if you were like you met someone you were dating and you got a role that had a kissing scene in it, and they were like, I'm uncomfortable, but you are participating in this as an art, like the art of acting.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my only question was like, so that's kind of weird to say, but like, are you willing to like not take a gig because someone's uncomfortable, even though they're not permanent?
Say that again.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what's my
Well,
thought.
well,
Like
there were times where I didn't take a role, like I
Mhm.
was saying, because they weren't comfortable with that, which was leaving me out the blank because I'm losing
Yeah,
opportunity.
you're
Well,
losing opportunity.
well, that's his question. Is
Yeah.
just like you're willing to put money, your career movement on off because of someone that you're just meeting or someone that you're casually getting to know, right? This is not like someone that you're deep in a relationship with or
Yeah,
your
and if
husband, right?
If I'm like starting to talk to you, trying to feel you out, don't know where it's going, yeah, I'm still taking those roles.
So let me ask this. Let me ask it in this way.
I hope we're not coming off like.
No, I'm not. No,
When was your last relationship, if you don't mind asking?
A serious one?
Yeah.
2 years?
2 years. So
Yeah.
we're talking 2019.
Yes,
Okay. How long did that relationship last?
a year.
A year.
Yeah.
So you just broke up in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. In that serious relationship,
He didn't care.
he didn't
He
care
didn't care.
about your acting?
He didn't care what I had to do. He supported everything. Like he didn't care about the kids.
Okay.
person
Okay.
should go
Okay.
for it.
So may I ask why was the reason for the breakup?
His family, kind of.
Wow.
It was kind of like they were more high class than I was, and they expected more, I guess, out of their son to bring someone else home, like more like a lawyer or a doctor. Or to me, acting was a passion, was a hobby, not a career. And at
So
the
they don't
end,
watch
Hold up, time out.
They don't watch it.
Was this a Caucasian man?
yeah.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
I figured as much.
Never in the history of nigga though will someone say like, oh, okay, you know.
Wow. Okay.
But and then also I kind of like, as we were really getting serious, we wanted different things down the road, and it was like
Wow,
questions
okay.
I should have asked ahead of time, because now we're like just wasting time.
Yeah.
He wanted like a house and kids and stuff like that. I'm like, I've worked so hard, I don't have time for kids. I didn't even think about kids.
Okay.
And like, I'm not gonna just like. He was like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, I love you, and then I didn't like that. Like, you want a house and a family and kids, you should have that. Don't settle for less because I don't, just because you love someone. Like, I want you to be happy. So
Right,
it's like, you
right.
should have that. And that's why from now on when I talk to you, like, do you want kids? Like,
Yeah.
how do you feel about acting if I have to do this? And if it's like things are, I'm not comfortable, like I have to change for you, I don't belong with you.
Yeah.
I was about to ask that question because when you're leaving jobs on the table, are you applying that same advice to yourself? Are you happy leaving those gigs on the table?
No, I wasn't. And I was like, I don't, that's why I wanted to date people that are in the industry, because they get it. They understand.
Yeah.
And then like they expect you to get like a regular job, and I don't mind doing that, but it's hard because like if you have kids, you have to keep taking them off, and like you don't like to work, and that's not the problem.
Yeah.
So so it's just back and forth with things, and so I'm just like, I need to find someone who's on the same level with me, same mindset, where there will be no problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like? I'm sorry. Do you have a question, or do you have a question you want to follow up with?
I just wanted to ask about the modeling page. That was my main
Oh yeah,
question.
that, and it's just like I did a lot of photography, so looking through the photos and stuff like that. And I took a class. I still take classes, and they help you with posing and the look, and we're just like, okay, this is your signature. This is what you've been getting booked off of. So like, we're just going to stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
So and it takes classes and stuff like that. Same for acting, and I did a class school in Baltimore when I was 16 because I was so shy.
Okay.
And they helped me with performing and, standing up in front of everyone, memorization skills, and just like getting me to talk.
Okay.
And just like being more outgoing because I wasn't. And it really helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really start getting booked by them until I was 18, but I was like background work, and that was something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was more about like me being confident and believing in myself, because after I did that, I was getting booked like crazy.
Yeah.
To me, I was just like, I'm not good enough. That's why I didn't get booked. I kept saying no. So then I focused on modeling because they're like, you got that look. So then
Yeah.
I did that, and I'm like, it's not fun. I'm tired of going up and down the runway, changing. It's not fun.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to acting because if I'm focusing on modeling, everything that I learned and trained for is going out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm gonna go back to that, and then I kept with it, and I've been getting booked, and now I'm just like, I feel like I learned so much on the way and still growing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so how many more years do you see yourself as an actress? I'm sorry.
Oh, many years to come.
Many
I'm
years
just
to
getting
come.
started.
Okay.
Hey,
I know that's
Okay.
right.
Okay. Oh
This is
yeah.
all I've really been aiming for.
Okay.
And so I haven't really thought of anything else, and I don't plan to think of anything else.
Okay.
I plan on going to Georgia. At least stay out there for a little bit and do auditions and submit for things. Because Georgia, Atlanta is really hot right now.
Yes, that's a
Georgia
fact.
is popping right
Yeah.
now because they don't care about like any of this COVID stuff. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna film that. They're like, COVID doesn't exist.
And
We're
it's
filming
cheaper,
it. Yeah.
cost effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my plan. I want to, because here in Maryland, like you're like for the true crime series and stuff like that on ID channel, I've done a lot of them, but you're like on one episode.
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah.
on something that's constant.
Yeah,
It's-
my wife, her
Okay.
godbrother, he's been on that same thing.
Yeah.
He's been out here in Maryland. He's from Baltimore. The same reel, the same gigs, like
Yeah.
the same thing. Like I've seen him on a couple episodes of like Law and Order or something like that. But it's like a one episode thing, and then we'll see you later. So that kind of thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, would you say that Maryland, if you had the same skill set and you were in a different location outside of Maryland, do you feel like you would have risen faster?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always said that. Don't I always say Maryland don't support
Maryland
it.
is trying.
Yeah, Maryland don't
They're
support their own at
Nothing.
all.
A lot of folks, a lot of creatives I've heard that have to leave in order to pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a laundry list of people like famous like,
That are
successful
from
people
DMV.
that are from the DMV,
And they're
You
not
don't find
here.
out until
Yeah.
they leave.
That's true.
I'm not gonna lie, like I left, popped off, came back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Ari Parker's from Baltimore. Like,
Are you serious?
yeah, she's from Baltimore.
a lot of people don't realize
Jada
that
Pinkett's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all these people are from
Yeah.
DMX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize DMX lived in Baltimore
Yep.
before he went to New York. Like
Yeah.
niggas don't.
A lot of
Yeah,
people came.
yeah.
Like, when I moved here, I was just like, wow, a lot of people are from here. But I'll say this: in New York, it's hard to. People don't support their own either.
Yeah.
So a lot of people leave. But I feel like there's a similar vibe here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Masigo?
I don't know.
Wait. Oh, saxophone player?
Yes, he's
Don't-
from here.
Don't tell me that.
He's
Are you
from here.
serious?
He's from here. He's from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. So listen.
Did y'all see that DC? I can go on. Documentary on Netflix. Residue.
No.
No.
It's about DC. The guy from. I actually was on a podcast with him too. I forgot his name. Look up Residue on Netflix. It's about DC. He's from DC.
Okay.
Shoot, there's
He
a
moved to
documentary.
LA to get his
To pop
thing going.
off. Yeah.
There's a documentary.
I'm not
that's
gonna-
in the water about just basketball players from PG County.
Yeah.
And like I'm looking, I'm like, yo, you can make a legit team of NBA players from PG County.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna cap like it took somebody from the West Coast to say, yo, you belong on radio. Like Zoe Williams in 2013 was like, bro, you belong on radio. You need to create your own platform. And like legit, like if I was to move back to the Midwest or the West Coast, like it would be nothing for me to pop overnight. Like I have so many connections there. Like every time I go to the Midwest, like I literally like purposely don't communicate with people on my phone because I know the moment everyone knows I'm in town, it's over. Like it's Maryland and the East Coast in general is so hard to get cooperation from people that should be celebrating
We
you.
don't like to collaborate.
Yeah, we don't at all.
We
Like,
do not like to collaborate.
like, yeah, at all. I mean, like, I had a homeboy that I call Vegas. I met him in Las Vegas when I was like 14 years old at a boxing event. I was in a boxing tournament. Bro, do you realize when I moved to the Midwest in Kansas City, like we re-linked up and it was like we never lost touch.
Mhm.
And like I was 14 years old when I re-linked with him. I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like we never lost touch, and like the support was there. Like people hear it's like, oh yeah, we know so and so. I can give you another example. There's an artist named Devon Daniil that I feel like is like the next Erica Badu. Like, and I'm not even capping. I'm being dead serious. Like, no lie at all. But because she's from Maryland and she's still in Maryland, like,
that's almost a death.
Yeah, like if I had to like, anyway. So I know I kind of pushed our guest over her time, but I do want to ask one more question.
Yeah.
Name a television show that you feel like you could be a part of that's popping right now.
I've always wanted to do Law and Order SV.
I had a feeling you was gonna say Law and Order. I had a feeling. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen castings for it, but it's like it's either a victim or it's either a killer or it's either like a friend of someone.
Yeah.
But I would want to be a detective, or I want to be on that show permanent.
Yeah.
But even when I did see those castings, like it was always gonna be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the heck? I can't do that. Then I try to find them like a week or so ahead, like before, and it just does not happen.
Okay.
But that is definitely a show that I would. Oh man,
you would love.
You know how many seasons they have?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Law and Order fan.
1 million seasons.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Oh, I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
What is your signature like thing as an actress? Like, you know, people be having like Taraji has like the eyebrow. Like, what is your thing that like, oh, like that's your signature thing? Like, what do you think is your
My
signature?
hair.
Is your hair?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
I get booked off of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just off the rip, just like forget your face. I like your hair.
The hair and the eyes.
I can see the eyes. I can definitely see the eyes. You were talking about your model face. You hit it for a second. I don't know if y'all saw that. She was just like, she hit the model face. She was like, yep. And I was like, oh, she just did it. She just did it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever used a seductive look to get a role?
Come on now,
Bruh.
that's what a woman does. You don't have to sugarcoat it. It's okay. Use what you got.
You ever wink? You was like,
I don't
Use
know.
what your mama gave you.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll
I
go with
think they
that.
didn't want me. They didn't want me. I'm not gonna force something like that.
Wow.
It actually made, because if I do that, then it's like they're doing it. They're casting me just because of that. I want to be casted because I know it was great. If they didn't like me, I want to work harder.
Okay.
I'm not gonna just like, man, I want this. I'm gonna like all that. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Cool. All right. So look, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna finish the rest of the Choo Radio Show. It's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo, on that, and we'll catch you after this quick 2.2. In the words of Zoe Williams, deuces. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, little children, dogs and cats. Hold on, give me 30 seconds real quick.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to give you a tip on.
It's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that, aka Mr. Smack Your Great Great Grandmother. And I just want to say that was an awesome special guest that we had on the show tonight, Yasmin Cuda,
or AKA Barracuda.
Barracuda.
I feel like
So-
her stage name from now on.
So she's a local Maryland model actress that we would definitely love to have back on the show. We want to teach Marylanders how to support other Marylanders.
Facts.
No matter how great or how small your adventures are, True Radio wants to support the locals. We have a lot of international fans, and when I say international, I'm talking about United Arab Emirates, I'm talking about UK, I'm talking about all over the nation of the 50 states. Should I say 51 now, because DC just became a state.
For
Did that
real?
get
Yeah,
passed?
yeah, that got passed.
When?
Oh.
And the ramifications, we're gonna talk about that next week. The ramifications are gonna be horrible for Black people. But anyway,
I missed that.
Yo, I missed that too.
so well anyway,
Is that also what news happens in Maryland? Like, I feel like when the police, the bill of police rights got reformed, like, and I was here listening to people talk about that.
yeah.
I didn't even hear anything about that.
You know, me and my pops had a lot to do with it being
and that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
if it wasn't for here, I wouldn't even heard of that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. So, but anyway, shout out to Yasmin. She was very well presented.
Mhm.
She was very well spoken. She stuck to her truth, and I appreciate that. Don't coon or cap for my platform. Be you. And we're pretty sure we'll have her back on the show. And it's crazy. It's a lot of people that don't know a lot of things that's going on in the world or who people are. Shout out to Minister Farrakhan, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that, and I'm here with my illustrious co-host.
It's your boy, Mr. Grantastic, aka the Professor, aka Negro Suave, aka King of Choo Woo Woo. In season 2. King of Choo Woo Woo.
All right now, y'all.
In season 2. And if I ever chew and chew again, I will be
My
sure
God.
not
That is
to
a long-
choke
And
on
okay,
that
anyway.
Long
thread.
intro.
And
On the
if
brighter side of darkness, we are here with also the lovely IA.
AKA internal audience, AKA. Okay.
AKA.
I was waiting. I was looking around. I was like,
Hey, I
yo.
thought she was about to fire
I was
something
like,
off.
I was like, yo, we
I don't
about
wanna-
to get
I don't
hit
wanna- I
up.
don't want to take, the luxury away from you all.
Quiet storm.
There you go.
succulent ribs and back rubs.
And baby oil.
You know, I'm going to try to change positions here. Pause.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, pause. I'm going to pause that. But Mr. Grand Taxi, is there anything you want to say about our special guest tonight?
Yeah, as I'm writing this potential this series I'm writing, I'm like, all right, you know, like she's local. Let me figure out what role I'm gonna hopefully get her on. Because by the time I finish writing, hopefully she'll blow up. I'll be like, hey, Yasmin, you remember me from the Choo Radio? Yo, brother, need a lead. No, but that was the one thing though, because you know we talk about a lot of like dating and relationship stuff on the show. I can only imagine how hard it is just for women in general, but for a woman being an actress and you got to kiss someone else potentially on screen, like that must be very difficult. Like that seriously may be. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel for her, especially the part when she was just like, you know, if somebody's uncomfortable, she's turned down gigs. And I'm like, well, if you're turning down gigs left and right, like, are you becoming an actress? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there may have been like one at the beginning and then she learned from that.
Okay.
Like, hopefully that was though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did sound like this was like a one thing and like I did it and I'm not going to do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, get your coins, baby.
That's
like,
right.
You know,
That's
like,
right.
As long as you ain't getting penetrated on television,
Right.
like
That's
you know,
something else.
That's something else.
Whoa!
I'm like, look, baby,
This is a family show, right?
Bruh.
Keep going. Keep going. So she didn't get penetrated.
No, she didn't get. So it's all good though. It happens. I mean, not the penetration part. Like you know, she's doing what she needs to do, and I think that's the thing of which people got to start appreciating themselves and knowing themselves and learning themselves and say like, hey, this is what my dream, my passion, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, hey, and she said she was upfront. That's another thing too, because people try to hide that stuff.
That's true.
Like, you know, she could easily just walk into a relationship and been like, oh, and then he's like flipping through Netflix, like, hey, yo, babe, is that you?
Right.
You know, and she comes up front with that. So if you're up front and then someone's got a problem, then you gotta push. You gotta just
that's true.
Deuces.
Right.
Like, and that's for anyone, any profession, though. Like for real. Like, if you're up front and you're being honest, and they're like, I can't handle you doing.
Wow.
You know, it's just. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is at that point. So now, but kudos for her for like learning that lesson, because I think people don't learn that lesson till it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Perry came through and was like, look, you know, like it's gonna be a little bit of a cartoonish role, but you're gonna get $50 million for it. She's like, my boyfriend don't want me kissing the light skinned dude with the braids. That's the face of
Yeah, I feel like if you already are an actor and you meet somebody and that's already your profession and they want you to change your profession, that's an insecurity.
Yeah.
Like, you should just go ahead, just get rid of him and find somebody that's going to accept you for what you're already doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point I was trying to home in on, like, because when you meet somebody, you will already know what their passion are if you're really invested in who they are.
That's very true.
And so a lot of people don't meet people to invest in who they are or find out who they are, or their passions. They want to meet people based upon trying to get something to benefit them in the moment.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of actually learning who that individual is. You know what I'm saying? So,
and now I completely understand why a lot of actors date and marry other actors. Like, I get it now more. When she was like, all right, I'm just going to marry someone else in the business or like date someone else in the business because they understand. And I was like, I get that now. Now I know for me being an educator, I knew I didn't want to marry another educator because I know we bitch and talk about things all the time. So I felt like, hey, baby, how'd you day? Oh, these mother kids. I didn't want that. I wanted something separate. But I think for that particular world that you're like acting, you could potentially be kissing or pretending to be someone else's, girlfriend. I get why, because someone else has to understand, like, it's for the screen. You come home and then I lay the wood and we good. So, yeah. But you said that's also less an insecurity thing.
Yeah.
Stop it. If they started in a relationship, you can't stop it.
Hey, we missed you last week.
Aw, I missed y'all too.
I didn't feel like Mr. Randy Choo last week. I almost canceled the show.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
So I gotta be the oxygen.
That's a cap. I was trying to
Just yeah, right. I didn't even extra. Okay.
You said almost.
Thanks for confirming, fraud.
Oh my goodness.
I
So
did miss out though. No, for real.
so we had a discussion, and I'm trying to get Kevin Samuels on the show. I have people that know him, we have mutual friends.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Fresh and Fit Podcast,
Mm-hmm.
my homie Fresh. We have mutual friends that know Kevin Samuel. He's been on that platform numerous times. I want to bring him on our platform to have a dialogue or discussion.
Okay.
Because some of the stuff he says is accurate. But I don't feel like it pertains to 100% of all the women.
Mm-hmm.
About 85% of them, yeah.
I saw in the last week
Okay.
that like a woman came in and was on his Instagram live, and she wasn't in the same spot because I watched and because like I don't believe sometimes like how crazy, because like I'll hear people talk about like yeah this happened, so I'll watch because I'm like this madness can't be true. The madness is actually true. So some of the women call in are legit off their blocks with stuff, right? But one lady called it, and I was like, she's actually not in like that bad position. And I think this is what he gets the bad rep from because it's like she wasn't like you said, 85% of the women that call in.
Yeah.
He was treating her as if she was 85% of the women that call in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was like, you're on platform more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm actually trying to give you something.
Mm-hmm.
This is like this is my platform personality.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep doing it. Like I think that's the thing. I think some people would have a little bit more respect if he like, all right, sister, you're not in that bad a position. Actually. Like if he actually said that to a woman called in that wasn't crazy off her blocks and he acknowledged that, I think people would be like, okay, there is some sane sanity to you. But the thing is like he's going at 100% of the women for 80%, the same way 85% of the women that actually call in are. But I was just like, yeah, you didn't have to do that to that young lady.
I mean, I've heard that several times. So there's been some of the ladies that have called up who weren't the 85% have said they felt like, they came on the show with good intention and it was very clear he had an agenda.
Yes.
Someone else mentioned that he said his mentors or his idols are Simon Cowell and Howard Stern. So that right there lets you know he's attempting to be a shock jock, which is why I was just like, your intention. When people say, oh, but is he lying though? I'm like, a lot of people say a lot of truth. Does that mean we take everybody's message? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your intention? And so to me, I've just seen him in action where I'm just like, he's trying to get his next viral moment. Like his come up is for him. Like even people who are riding him like, oh, we must protect Kevin Samuels at all costs. I'm like, that's so lame. Like what?
Who said that?
Lames in his comments. All lames. Like who says that? And it's just like he's not looking out for y'all. Like
actually, one of your boys is not a protector of Kevin Samuels, but is like he is. I gotta look for the actual quote.
You said one of my boys?
One of your boys. I follow it like very heavily. Like yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking.
We're gonna keep it inside.
I know who you're talking about.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he put a post on there. It was just like Kevin Samuels is a hero. So it's just like
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll tell you IA once we get off air. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
So I just, if you were really, if he was really for the people,
is he really a hero? Because let's talk about it for a second. I know we went over time a little bit, but let's talk about it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If men feel like they haven't really had the confidence to call women out on their accountability issues, has Kevin Samuel raised the awareness of what men desire in relationships? Has he made it? Has he exposed the awareness to the point where we can begin to have the dialogue? Was he like the crash test dummy to be able for us men to feel comfortable enough to have the dialogue in the general public? Even though he may be flawed in certain things that his presentation or certain ways he presented to women, or can we just say that he's a complete failure? My personal opinion is I feel like, and I want IA and then Grantastic to comment. I feel like he's the martyr for male expression. And what I mean by that is he at one point was Urkel and it became Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most niggas are like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
The most, do you think?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because also
Yeah.
another thing, and we may end up creeping on that. I think most women don't actually legit believe in the evolution of a black man, though.
What do you mean by that?
That so the man that in his 20s will be different in his 30s. I don't really think most women believe that, though. And when I say that is because it's like, actually, this was on a Chew and Choke a handful of weeks
I don't
back
know about that.
of character development, though. Like that's the thing is, it's like, so for black men, like I feel as if like people take you for the snapshot when they met you, and they don't anticipate an evolution of that later on down the line.
Yeah.
Like it's not an expectation of it.
I don't feel like it's a character development. I feel like it's a character expression.
Yeah. Well, and what you're talking about, yes.
Yeah, I feel like
I think that's it right there. Like if you're meeting a nerd in his 20s, you expect him to be a nerd going forward. And if you're not into the nerd, then you're not into the nerd. But you know, for you to resort to like, oh, she must like a Pookie and Ray Ray or someone going upside her head, like there's a lot of in between. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but if you listen to some of the talking points, it's like this the other saying like, oh, you know, now she wants me, but she don't want me in high school, because you hear that talk. So to me, it's a lot of hurt people.
But you know, according to the Department of Justice, 65% of domestic violence cases is women attacking men.
Where do they get the numbers from?
Department of Justice.
But how do they gather that?
Court cases.
Court cases.
Police
that's
reports.
Even like an education of, so the stigma is that,
and that's not counting the police, because police, I don't even include police in statistics, because you can't call police on police, and a lot of police officers abuse their wives.
Yeah.
So I'm not including that number. Just the Department of Justice on civilians calling in police reports or even court cases. 65% of the court cases in the past 5 years have been, from my research from the past 5 years, have been women attacking men. And I feel like, one, if your woman feels like she can attack you, something wrong with you. That's number one. Secondly, what causes that type of environment? And why are you with that type of woman that would attack you? That's two. But thirdly, I feel like women have become so brilliant with words that they've escaped accountability.
I can see that. I mean, I think that's interesting, because you hear a lot of, you know, you hear that hashtag like protect Black women. That's even beyond. I mean, that really started from a lot of Black women getting beat up and even killed by. It is what it is.
That was started by a Black man, by the way. That hashtag you talking about, yeah. And he actually got killed
by
a Black woman.
Because I think that's another thing of like, it's just.
Hold on, let her finish your thought though. I didn't mean to cut you off. I want you to finish your thought, but I wanted to just say that. Go ahead.
I kind of forgot it.
Oh snap!
I kind of forgot it, but
you were saying that the hashtag protect Black women.
But even before that, what were we saying?
I said that that 65% in the last 5 years that I've researched from the Department of Justice were women attacking men, and that's not Black women attacking Black men. That's just women in general attacking men. In general,
I mean, I could see that. I could see a Karen really, like, you know, that, or even Lola Savage. But I think it probably is. There's differences by gender. I mean, by race.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's a black woman or I'm not saying there's not any, but I'm just saying like I don't
like overwhelmingly.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I think really what like Kevin Samuel kind of represents is like a narrative change.
I will agree with that. I will say that I just had the point and I forgot it one more again.
Brad.
Oh
I
man.
need you to put that church finger up when you get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about Kevin being fraud, and then we were talking about.
Let me ask this question: if Kevin Samuel was to come on the show, what would be one of the questions you would ask him as a black woman?
Don't say bitch nigga first.
No, I'm not even gonna resort to all that. What prompted you to pivot from your original audience was talking to black men?
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to talk to black women and then really ride this out? Because
is he talking specifically to black women, or is he talking to women in general?
He's mostly speaking.
He's mostly speaking to black women.
There's episodes where he talks to the general, but he's mostly speaking to black women.
Okay.
And I would like him to be honest. I don't want him to do his like usual semantics.
Do you want to hear that from him? Because someone did ask me that question recently. I don't know if you want me to tell you.
Yeah, go.
No, tell it because I didn't hear this.
So he was expressing how he did start off talking to black men first,
Yes.
but he was like no one was listening.
Right.
And then he started talking to black women,
and then people started listening. So I've heard that before, and that's what makes
that was out of his mouth.
And that's what makes me question things because now, like you said, somebody called, she wasn't part of the 85%, and he was still going in and ramming it in, and it's just like you have to know, like there's a formula that you're following.
Yes.
And there's people who can pretend, but you know what's up. So are you gonna keep flunking?
But that's the thing is like, but women, so from what I hear from him and a lot of other people who are like influencers, things like that. I've heard the same thing is that women are the biggest consumer group.
Yes.
So that's why they target them.
Yes.
And I mean, it's not necessarily if you agree with it or not, but that's always the tactics of like even the media.
Yes.
Like you talk about clothing, everything. It's like.
But can a black man express his concerns about his interactions with a black woman without there truly being a negative backlash? Can the black man honestly, respectfully, and even in a honorable way have that kind of dialogue without feeling like he's the scum of the earth because he feels a certain way about the dynamics of relationship?
I think 100%. Not even I think, I know it can happen because there are other people who are part of technically that community that I watch, and I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily need to agree or disagree with what you're saying, but I receive or I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't know if I should shout out any names, but it's just like, to me, Kevin.
Latif?
Who?
Latif?
No. His name is MTR Mediocre Tutorials. Is what he goes for.
Okay.
Like, to me, he most definitely doesn't sugarcoat his thoughts and his feelings on things, and some of it is hard to take, but I feel like he's not trying to have viral moments. Like, he's not exploiting, I feel like Kevin, I know Kevin has his platform based on humiliating. And he's just done it too many times where it's just like, regardless of women, sure, can women, be held accountable, or is there room for improvement in that arena? Absolutely. But if we're going to compare the two genders, it's just like, he started off with men for a reason. A lot of people are not holding men accountable. Like, they're just not. I mean, if we're going to specifically talk from black men to black women, I mean, we can even go to this whole
I disagree with that. I feel like black men have been held accountable to the point where we're afraid to even make the slightest mistakes.
Now, are black men held accountable or criticized?
Because I feel like that's what it is.
I think that's
no. I said accountable. I'm gonna say why.
You said accountable. I'm saying like, are like nationally, or do we hold black men accountable, or do we criticize black men?
Everything that's wrong with the black community is blamed on the black man.
I don't agree with that.
I'm
I'm gonna go even to George Floyd. People attacked the young lady for recording the video versus trying to jump in.
That was white people though. White people attacked her.
Black people went in on her too.
Black
people have threatened her. Like, why didn't you jump in? I said a 17-year-old girl should have jumped in to save a 46-year-old man from the cops.
I don't know. I from my standpoint and from people I know that are involved, that were involved in the court case, even involved in testimony, the George Floyd situation. First of all, a 17-year-old black woman should never be in a physical altercation with men. That's number one. And if you, as a black man, feel like she should have jumped in, you a pussy.
And I'll even say from Makaya's situation, people were.
I'm just saying.
People were like, well, she was about to stab someone. I said,
no, yo, I'm sorry to cut you off on that, but let me say this. White men can have assault rifles and kill 8 to 10 people and still get handcuffed. But you mean to tell me a black girl with a butter knife that was defending herself deserved to be killed? I don't like that.
Black men saying, "Wow, she wasn't using common sense." Like y'all are mad if y'all don't think the cop was justified. I saw some women saying
those ain't black men. Those are white men with black skin.
Okay. Well,
those are coons.
But people are literally split on that because I was just like, I've said this I said this for years, and as soon as I heard an inkling of Makai, I said, I already know there's going to be no protest. I already know people are going to be trying to dig up the details.
There is protest right now, though.
Is it on the level of a George Floyd? Even with Sandra Bland, people were upset. Like, man, she should have complied a little bit more. The fact that she was talking back. I feel like
Sandra Bland had actually a larger protest than George Floyd. I know activists on the ground.
I feel like anytime a woman
we can't judge that off of mainstream media.
Okay,
because that's controlled by white supremacy.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah,
but mainstream media will cover protests for black males. They won't do it to the same level for black women, and so
that's the whole point of white supremacy, though. It's to divide, to make the black woman view the black man as the enemy. That's their whole purpose.
But black women are the ones jumping up in front facing with these protests because they want.
But y'all outnumber us 8-1, though.
Nah, it's not that big of a gap, I don't think. But even if it is, it's just like, why aren't the women jumping? Like, women are now the warriors of the like someone said yesterday, I heard on the feed, like, black women are to the race what white men are to their race. So white men will defend white women, but black women are the ones to defend.
Whoever said hold on. Whoever said that doesn't know history, because in our culture, we've always honored and respected and trained our women to be warriors. It's under this guise of white supremacy where that got manipulated to make us view each other as the enemy. In African culture that traveled and circulated the entire globe before white people even crawled out of the Caucasus Mountains, we've always valued it. We've never oppressed our women. That happened because of white supremacy.
No, the whole warrior thing is just like
even the warriors, and we're the only culture in human history where if a black queen married a guy, he became a king. In any other culture, if a woman that was a queen married a person, he was just the nigga that the queen married. And we just saw that. Like, we named the throne after the woman. If you study the etymology in Egypt of the word throne, it literally is a feminine word. It's because the woman dictates who rules the kingdom. We've always valued black women. It's just that in white supremacist society, we have been pushed to fight against each other. White women have duped black women into this feminist movement where we feel like black men has oppressed black women, and there are black men who use their position in this white society to push back against black women. We're not going to deny that. And black women have been treated wrong. We're not going to deny that. But to say that that's an overall, That's not true because most of the
Also,
mainstream
that
media.
protect white women is completely false. Like that's another thing too. I was thinking about today of like the fact, like, because we reference that we're like, oh, like we say like black women are not protected by, like, we're the black women, the only group of women that are not protected by their men. That is more than false, because if you interact with other people on their ends, their women are not protected at all, and it's a part of their culture. But especially for white men.
That's a fact.
Because also the feminist movement in the 60s, these white women trying to come, they were fighting against white men. And even the things that we thought we got as black people in the civil rights, like, you know, agenda and everything, we actually didn't get it. The people who got the benefits were actually white women.
For sure.
White women took black men's jobs.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Is like,
and let's keep it a buck. In our culture, black culture, having multiple women, you weren't allowed to have sex with other women unless the wife gave you permission. And we know black women, 90% of the time they're gonna be like, hell no. So polygamy wasn't about sex, it was about infrastructure.
That's true.
And so just because you can't judge black men based upon the last 20 years, because we have to remember our elders gave up on us.
Yo, and if they weren't killed, they were bought out.
And the black women that were married to these elders were mistreated, and they taught their daughters a certain perspective to view black men from. And what happens is good black men like myself or Mr. Grandtastic, we get the backlash of them cruddy niggas. Because there's cruddy niggas out there.
Yeah,
we're not gonna front.
Not denying.
Like, it's cruddy niggas out there. I mean,
but how many outward accountability institutions are there for these men? Like, because women, I'll tell you, black women get it from the church. We get it from the media. We get it from the black man. We get it from other
now, hold
women.
up. Now,
like,
I disagree about the church part. I feel like the church caps the. Yeah, I'm dead serious. I feel like the church caps a lot. The moment a pastor falls, they blame the pastor. They never go after the woman.
listen,
Never.
Always is not synonymous with men. It's synonymous with women, and so.
Are we talking about in white society, or are we talking about black culture?
I hear black people calling the word hoes way more than, I mean, white people say sluts sometimes, but like it doesn't have the same sting as like.
No,
and let's be honest, the black church. Let's talk about Christianity.
The black church.
Christianity was established by who?
Is the white male.
Okay, I rest my case.
But that's why I think they hold women to a certain standard that they do not hold the male to. They don't. We just not gonna agree on that.
I don't know. I know that a woman can say that a person has done something, and that man gets viewed, even when proven wrong, still gets viewed as, oh, that could have been the case.
Say that again.
So a woman can say, oh, this person made a sexual advance towards me.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be proven that that woman lied.
Yeah.
But the man is still viewed by the majority, oh, that could have been true, so that's still a part of his character.
90 seconds.
Don't worry about her. We good.
Okay.
I run this platform, not her.
I feel like that could be a case scenario, but a lot of times when a woman does do an accusation, the first thing I hear is like, is she lying? Like that's a thing to.
But you hear that because you're a woman, and you have a level of sanity that a lot of women don't have. Didn't I tell you to be quiet? I'm talking. Yeah, she capped. She should learn from IA. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? She cut me off when I'm talking, and anyway, but and I'm glad we're having this discussion, because this discussion needs to happen in a healthy way.
Right.
But I feel like that. I feel like that, and I'm even speaking from personal experience.
Okay.
I feel like the black man isn't valued or protected by the black woman.
10 seconds.
And
Shut up, lady.
and let me explain why. And if you disagree, I
Okay.
respect your disagreement.
Yeah.
You want me to read the definition of protected?
And yes, read the definition before
I knew it was
before
gonna
you
pop
read
up.
it. But before you read it, let me say this.
Mhm, mhm.
We can agree to disagree,
Okay.
and you can learn, or I can learn
Right.
from this conversation.
Absolutely.
Or we both can learn from this
Absolutely.
conversation. But we can't allow what I like about this platform and this conversation is we don't allow white supremacy to dictate how we view each other.
Sure.
Is the viewpoint is coming from our past experience to our current maturity now.
Mhm.
And even we're going to grow together as a group. But these conversations need to be had because and not in the way that Kevin Samuels or anyone that worships him in their light, or not the way that Red Table Talk or people that worship them in their talk. I feel like it has to be a mutual respect for the perspective because it's a lot of pain and trauma on both
For
sides.
sure.
Mhm.
It's a lot of wrongdoing on
And I
both
think
sides.
That's the tough part about it.
And that's the-
traumas on both sides.
Yeah, it's kind of, I feel like the same way I felt about having the conversation with Dr. Wesley Muhammad in the Nation of Islam about Malcolm.
Mhm.
It's like this narrative had been presented, but you never had an opportunity to speak.
Yeah.
And I feel like men, there's this narrative that's been presented, but we've never had the opportunity to speak.
That makes sense, and I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's why I'm probing the questions and
Mhm.
things like that.
I mean, you made a point. You asked a question about, or you made a statement saying like you feel like black men are not protected by the black woman. What does that look like?
Read the definition.
Okay, so let's go into the definition. So the adjective. So protected. So preserved from harm, especially by means of formal or legal measures. And I'm going to talk Sunday. Another way. So covered by legislation controlling hunting, collecting, or development, and then denoting sexual activity performed using a condom or protective disease.
Yeah.
But kind of to what you said on Sunday, and because you were talking about protection and like in like the spiritual realm where people left the camp and was by themselves and were no longer protected. So this is the one thing I kind of got from that. And someone asked the question, I think yesterday, was like, because you know it's like the hashtag protect black women.
Mhm.
And someone asked, do black women really want to be protected? And so I heard that and I was like, duh, yes they would be. But then I was listening to what you said about like what has to happen in order for you to be protected. The
Yeah.
thing is this. So it's like, and going back to the definition, so it's like preserved from harm, especially by means of formal or legal measures. The thing is this, right? Those legal measures, it's like if you leave the protection zone, like, so we're like, all right, we got our troops around this part of our island, right? If you leave, you're no longer protected.
Yeah.
I think what has happened with the propaganda from white supremacy, the white feminist movement, the
Mhm.
white like masculine whatever movement, whatever, people
Scoot
are.
forward a little bit, Grantastic, so the camera can see you.
Okay, I didn't know if I was leaning back too much.
There you go. There you go.
So I think both sides have forgotten that if you leave the group, the community, your protection diminishes when you're away from the community.
Let me put a comma right there.
Go ahead.
I feel like the problem is there was a time when black women wouldn't sleep with the not-ish nigga. There was a time where if you wasn't about a certain thing in life, you can't get the goodies. But society, with the internet and with everyone wanting to get follows and likes and views and the quickest way for women to get that is to show their body.
Mhm.
I mean, even during protest, you had women twerking
Yo.
in front of police officers. But if a man was to say, "Why are you twerking in front of police officers?" It's my body. I can do what I want. How can we hold a village accountable if we can't speak to the very people who birthed the village?
And that's what I was saying about the
You know what I'm saying?
thing is that so people have heard these things from the outsiders. So, and this is what I think a lot of people like the propaganda, the duping has been from the outsiders. So, like, yes, white women can do whatever they want because they have these tiers. That is their trump card. Once they cry, they get out of everything.
But white women have a certain liberty too because of the white man.
Correct.
See, what happened was the white man conquered the black man.
Mhm.
And because we didn't have the power to protect our women, it's been embedded in them. And what white men did was so, under Lyndon B. Johnson specifically, was we're going to give you a house,
Mhm.
we're going to give you food,
Yep.
we're going to give you clothes.
Yep.
That nigga can't come into your home.
Come into your house.
That created an atmosphere where the black, because let me tell you this,
And women
There were-
separate that.
there were wars.
Which women?
Black women.
Black women selected that.
Yeah, under Lyndon B. Johnson, the whole Section 8 would have not been popular if it wasn't for black women allowing that to happen. There was a time where black men fought entire wars over one black woman. That's how valuable we held black women. Now, in today's society, I don't think the majority of black men that are propagated on television respect black women.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The rappers, the actors, etc.
And the sad part, that's where we take all our
And that's where we take all the information. I'm
You have a I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
You have the historical perspective where you're like, you know, there is the protests were larger than Floyd. You can't just go off of what you saw on TV. But I'm just like, people aren't that in depth. People aren't digging up on
Right,
that. People
right.
take what's shown face value, and then that enters. Every day we're bombarded with messaging that affects our psyche and affects our behavior. Like, you know, even the ads that you see online, it's made for you to.
Yeah.
The whole point is to influence you to eventually
Yeah.
make a move, make a
Mhm.
purchase. And so you have some historical context that, you know, we can most certainly continue to have discussions about. But regardless of, perception is reality. And there is a perception that, you know, for Black women, they're unprotected. Black men don't want to protect them. They'll either abandon them or choose other. And then when you have people like Kevin, who, even if you want to say he's, you know, well-intended or he's being truthful or he's just trying to hold certain groups of people accountable, I'm not endorsing the women who are twerking, you know, in front of the cops.
Yeah.
However, everything does come down to delivery. A lot of things come down to delivery, I'll say.
So
It's not about coddling, but it's like if you had the same type of all your life, like, you can't do this, you can't blink like this, you can't breathe like this, and then you have somebody else like, why are you shaking your ass in front of the cops? Even though your intent is one thing, that person probably hears like, you're talking to me the same way as someone who's tried to control me.
So
Even though you're willing to.
Black woman to black man.
Yeah.
We have the pressure of this carrying the entire world. And then on top of that, we have to come home to women that have been conditioned by white supremacy to view, what have you done for me lately?
I think that goes both ways. Both of us are conditioned. But I do think, I'm just going to keep it honest, perception-wise, I think Black men tend to be a bit more conditioned.
Can a black man tell you your flaws without you deflecting to what he does wrong?
Me personally, yes.
Okay.
Me personally.
Generally.
Gen- generally,
And be
no,
honest.
I'm thinking, generally speaking,
Can a black man go to a black woman, generally speaking, and be like, I don't really want to come home to a bunch of attitude and a bunch of complaints. Can I come home to gratitude and thanksgiving and you have a roof over your head, you have food on the table. I don't want to hear about I didn't take the trash out at the moment you asked me to, when I'm already trying to fight against the entire world who doesn't want to see us prosper. Do you feel like, generally speaking, a black man deserves the right to even ask for a sense of gratitude?
100% you have that right. And generally speaking, like when I'm now thinking about it, I do think men are able to do that because you again have so many platforms. Although you disagree with the church, I've spent many a days in the church, and I just remember the majority of the audience.
I'm sorry, black church is trash to me. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just
Well,
take a shotgun and shoot all of them.
But
Yeah.
you'll hear both men and women saying like the black church keeps black women single because they're giving so much messaging about the black woman being so accountable to the point where it's just like they go out.
I don't know, because I feel like, and we can agree to disagree respectfully. I mean this with all the respect in the world.
Yeah.
I feel like that 75% of the black church is black women.
They are majority.
So if the pastor ain't screwing them or taking them for their money, he's preaching to what they need to hear in order to keep his congregation.
A lot of them will talk about marriage because a lot of them are single, and a lot of them will be like, you need to be this cookie cutter imagery in order to be able to get that husband. And this magical husband will appear on a horse and he'll be amazing. And
what church did you go to? Because majority of the
go down a list because that's what it is.
Now, mind you, you're talking to someone who's traveled in a lot of, I would have to say at least 40 states of America. And I've been on big platforms and small platforms in this fake American Christianity that people idolize.
I mean, a lot of your churches will Derek Jackson you too. You know what I'm saying? They will be like, don't take these ain't-ish people, these dudes. But they're still being like, ladies, in order to avoid these knockoffs, Derek Jacksons or the opposites, the Pookie and Ray Rays, you need to hold yourself to this level of perfection. And if you don't, you are said category of whatever.
First of all, scripturally speaking, the pastor shouldn't tell you what goes on in your home. The man of the home should be able to tell you what goes on in your home. Right. It's actually unbiblical for a pastor to tell you how to conduct your household.
But if the men aren't in church,
then who is the pastor preaching to? He's preaching to the women. Okay. But if the women is paying a salary and giving him the draws, he's going to appeal to that which is benefiting him.
I mean, we can make assumptions about him screwing or not screwing, but I'll just say the messaging overall is
I like the way you said that.
The messaging overall is, ladies, you need to hold yourself in this cookie cutter box in order to get this cookie cutter man.
And that's why a lot of church marriages don't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's why I be telling people don't do premarital counseling.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Counseling if you want to do premarital counseling.
Yeah. I heard a pastor's wife say this. She's just like, stop listening to these pastors on what a husband should look like because they're talking about themselves, and we put that in quotation.
Or what they want to be. Yeah.
What they want to be.
Yeah.
If you're looking to marry a pastor, yes, he is to be held to a higher standard. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're going to be a first lady, you are going to be held to a higher standard. But for your everyday civilian, their little rubric is not going to work.
And see, this is where I may be a part of a certain percentage that's not popular, because I never read in the scripture where a first lady existed. So I don't feel like a first lady should be held to a certain standard because there's not a position for a first lady. I feel like the pastor's wife should be his wife, and it doesn't matter what you think of her. She's the nigga's wife. you shouldn't have a say so on how she carries herself, how she conducts herself, or how she responds to her man, because that's not your house.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like women in the church, first ladies in the church, are pressured into being something that the Bible never tells them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
We can say that. However, if you have someone that's just like, hey, you are the company you keep. And if you're this stand-up the person, it's the same thing. This is the same logic they use with the women in the church. Like, hey, if you want this amazing, magical man that's going to drop out of the skies, you need to be this magical, amazing woman in order to have that. So it's just like, if you're a pastor and you're saying, hey, you need to have this man who's magical, and he's in a lot of ways saying, I'm this magical man too. So if he's getting with anything less than magical, people are going to be like, well,
but see, that's white supremacist conditioning. Because men,
every time we come back, it's back to white supremacy conditioning.
Because to be honest, men don't mind dating down.
Right.
Women mind dating down.
Right.
So if men don't care, only thing men care about is respect,
right,
loyalty, peace, and looks. We don't care about the amount of money you make, your religious background, or anything. We care about respect, love, loyalty, peace, and looks.
I feel like that's the standard a lot of first ladies are held up to, though. Because respect might be like, okay, for example, Devon Franklin married Megan Good. There was a lot of women who were very upset about that because they were like, he was 10 years celibate. Megan just got off the D.
But it was a lot of women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of men see, men have an understanding amongst themselves that, like, if a man is happy with a woman, if he views his woman as beautiful, as respectful, as loyal, it already conditions the men around him to view her the same way, whether they feel like she looks good or not. They're going to respect her the level. And this is why I feel like we have to push the white supremacy out of our communication, because there's a lot of ugly black women who have a lot of black men that want them, but because they've been conditioned by white supremacy, they go after white men, like Lizzo. We're not talking about the coon black people who want to marry white or outside of their race because they hate black women. We're not talking about them. I'm talking about black men who actually have a love and respect for black women, who want to see the best for black women. The issue is that no matter what that black man does, he's categorized with the rest.
I don't agree with that. If you are a different black man, listen, fortunately, I come from a very married family, so I had a lot of stand-up men in my family. I have a lot of stand-up men in my family.
Okay.
They stand out.
Yeah.
They stand out. So I don't have some of the, 8-ish men, because I grew up with enough examples of males in my family where.
So have you ever been with an 8-ish man?
I have.
Why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like you chose to be with that person at that specific time?
Youth. That person, I'll say this. He was dynamic. So that was a part of his chapter, but he had other chapters. So overall, like, if you saw my roster, you'd be like, okay, everybody was overall, there's that one. That one was very short-lived, okay? That one was very short-lived. I will say it was.
What do you mean by dynamic? Help.
Dynamic
for the viewing audience. Help them understand what dynamic.
Even
means.
Earlier when you were talking about masterpiece, I don't believe that we're all just one thing all the time. Like, I don't think MLK was only an activist or a freedom fighter. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
yeah.
He was a father. He was a husband. He also had his side things. He also had fear. Like, so, dynamic meaning like you may have a man who is unable to keep it in one location. However, he may have high level of, I mean, he's still a protector. He's still, intellect. He's still a leader of the family. And so, yeah, I think that was a part of him that was,
Mhm.
in one of his chapters in his
So,
books. But
so
he had
Martin
other
Luther
chapters
King
in
was like
books.
Solomon.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he had other chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a book.
Yeah.
People are books.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So he had concubines. Okay. Mistresses.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know that the same thing was said about Malcolm?
That he had mistresses.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that Malcolm was also called a homosexual?
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that, but there was actually books written that try to justify that Malcolm was a homosexual. Far from the truth.
So you think MLK didn't have anything going on?
No. I don't know. It's just hard for me to. I've had a conversation with one of.
I'm not crucifying MLK.
No. I know you're not, and if anybody think you are, then they're stupid. We can forget about them. I'm not saying that. I don't know because I don't trust the FBI like that.
Okay. I say all that to say, like,
if Coretta ain't say it,
I mean, the family kind of said it. You know what I'm saying? They kind of confirmed it. But I will say this, like, I'm not saying all that to say, like, if someone steps out or doesn't step out, to me, this is a me thing. I'm not so quick to define you by your one event. Sometimes it happens like that, depending on the event. But I understand, like, people are dynamic. So you might have cheated, but should I write your whole story as you're a cheater? You might have other dynamic masterpieces.
So if that was a part of his evolution, and Coretta walked him through that as an honorable woman that she is, if that's a part of that man's evolution, then you do realize that we talk about the process of his evolution, but when it comes to Black women that evolved, they fight against people talking about their journey.
Because I don't think the same grace is given to women. You called it evolution. You called his wife being honorable if she walked through with him on that journey, but the same grace would never be extended to a woman. So a lot of times a woman may not want to bring up her checkered past because that one chapter in her book might define her, no matter how much grace she's accomplished going forward.
Okay. Who do you feel like wrote that type of propaganda, though?
We can blame everything on white supremacy, but there is a system that I think we further keep on perpetuating. Like there comes a time where it's just
if you can give me an example,
if
you can give me an example outside of our enslavement to white folks, where this was the culture, this was a societal rule, then I can agree that we can no longer blame white supremacy. But if there's no evidence to prove that this was the rule outside of our enslavement here, then we have to understand that the conditioning came from our oppression from white folks. Am I right? Or do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I mean, off the top of my head, I can't give you a case scenario. I'd have to get back to you on.
No. I'm not saying off the top of your head. I'm just saying, like, based upon what I just said, like.
I think now we have enough information to start rewiring it and unconditioning.
I love that. Yeah.
I think this is where accountability, if we're talking about accountability, it's just like we can continue, just like, they say Black women stop blaming Black men. Okay, at this point, we have examples of our folks coming together. They're still getting blown up. them abandoning,
Mhm.
them cooning. We have literally, there's nothing new under the sun. We literally have every genre of an example. Study what's been done historically
Mhm.
and start to tweak to do better.
So, do you feel like that the majority of black women have studied the black man in his current condition?
I think
I-
a lot. Now, I think
I feel, and I asked that to say,
Mhm.
I asked that with the purpose of this.
Mhm.
I feel like black men in their current condition can't elevate themselves unless they have the help of the black
I
woman.
agree with that.
But if society has us pointing the finger at each other, how can I ask my queen to help me become a king if she's viewing me as the oppressor or as a peasant?
So let me ask you again, like how, because I've seen Black Lives Matter is organized and led by women. When you see these protests, they are highly organized by Black women. So it's just like, I remember reading an article of this.
Are you speaking from your feelings or statistics? Because majority of the Black Lives Matter marches were organized by men, but the spokesperson was women, and that was done on purpose.
Okay, so you're saying the majority of these organized protests from each of these cities are organized by men?
Yes.
Okay.
At least 70% of them. And they purposely allowed a black woman to speak at those marches to give honor to the black woman. That's actually 70%, like legit.
Okay. Well, that, if that's the stat, then that's the stat. From again, imagery,
Mm-hmm.
messaging,
Mm-hmm.
what's being conveyed, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I had a point to follow up. Okay.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you have any?
I was just gonna say, I think that just kind of goes to the point of the propaganda too, which is like, so like you're saying the perception. So
Yeah.
we're relying on the perception that's controlled by other people to dictate how we treat one another. And I think that's what's falling apart in our community, because we are
100%.
relying on the perception of someone else's, views and eyes. But that's also a thing, is just like, because even like a few minutes ago, it's just like, I'm trying to tell you about my story of being a black man. You like roll it off as like, oh, I know the black men in my family, but it's like, you're not a black man. You're a black woman.
I'm not a black man.
I know I'm a black man. I'm telling you my experiences as a black man, and you're just like, roll it off. But that's what I'm saying, is just like, but that's why we got to get past this, because in your question of, do women actually study or like have some kind of, it's reference point about black men and what they're going through, I would say no, because right now it's all about just women in general. It's not about black men like that are trying to bring together the culture.
Okay.
And that's why I think, kind of like with the question from a couple of weeks ago, can we hold black women accountable? And it's just like,
What is your thoughts on that?
I think nah, because it's like, if I'm trying to tell you my experience as a black man and you dismiss it, then that means that it can't be there.
What did I dismiss?
That I was telling you, like, of me being a black man and like our character, and like you just like roll it off. It's like, I know black men in my family, like they're all stand-up guys. I don't believe that. And it's like, but you're not a black man.
I don't think I was writing you off. I was saying, like, I don't have the all black men ain't shit experience, because I have a few examples of, I know that they're stand-up men.
I know, but I'm saying, and as a black man,
Mm-hmm.
there's even moments by my black mother
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think that I'm questioning, are you looking at me as you're looking at my father? Because my father was one of those black men that ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at me, sometimes you, like, I see her, she's like, you look like your father. So that's what I'm saying, is it's like, we as black men, we go through certain experiences that I think that black women sometimes write off, because you're taking the book from white women and their feminist movement, from their men. It's like, now we're actually trying to figure out ways to protect black women that's not going to get us put in jail. Like, we're trying to figure out ways to bring together our community, but people write it off when we're saying, hey, this is our experience as Black men that we face. And it's not just from Black women that we like have moments with. We're battling Black women in our family. We're battling our mothers sometimes.
I don't think that experience that you are describing is unreal. I was actually trying to add to your experience by saying, like, I know good Black men exist, and I'm fortunate enough to see examples of it, but that's not me dismissing what's happening. I'm saying to folks out here, like, there is another narrative to Black men besides the we're at war and none of these Black men care, because I'm fortunate enough to have seen enough Black men to not have that scorn.
But the thing I think you don't understand is that we all get lumped in the same pile.
I didn't say that we didn't. I didn't.
No, you did. You did say, you was like, I know that, and you dismissed that. Like when we're saying like Black men, okay, even if good or bad, you do get lumped in the same pile from time to time.
I didn't say that doesn't
not
happen.
I'm not saying you directly said it, but from you dismissing it, you did. You're insinuating that. I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. I
okay.
have a different recollection of that, but okay.
But I mean, it does happen though. That's why I think we're trying to say.
I didn't say did it happen. What I was trying to say is there's another narrative. Like there's examples of the whole like all Black women think all Black men ain't shit is not a true statement. So I was actually trying to add to the, hey, I know that there's good guys out here because of the examples I saw. Not saying that your experience or the lumping doesn't happen, but I was saying like there's a caveat, there's a reminder for me that I know that's not true. Okay. That's what I was saying.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Does that make sense, or?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it does. I'm just saying, like, it does happen, though.
I didn't say it didn't. I know it happens.
Okay.
I know it happens for sure.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So it's 11 o'clock.
That's a hell of 11 o'clock.
And we're definitely going to pick this up. Not next week, but we're going to pick it up. And yeah, we got some guests and stuff. We're going to pick this up because I feel like this type of expression is going to bring healing.
Yeah. Agreed.
To both Black men and Black women.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be emotional. It's going to be disagreements. It's going to be trying. But what's the point of saying we are a people, a community, if we can't just lay everything out on the table about what we're feeling? Feelings versus reality.
Right.
Is what I'm going to call the next show that we have this discussion on.
Right.
Feelings versus reality. We're going to put all our feelings on the table, and then we're going to put what reality is.
Gotcha.
And then we're going to make a example of what unity looks like amongst Black men and Black women.
So we're gonna physically write these things down and like just add
yeah,
to the table.
Yeah, we gonna put this. Yeah, we gonna do that. Yeah.
And put them on the table. Excuse me. And then okay, I like.
And
that.
You know, I don't feel like I need to defend myself on this platform. I just feel like that at the end of the day, if you view this conversation as controversial, there's something wrong with you. Because Black women and Black men have a post to stand on about how they're feeling. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we haven't had the opportunity to have these discussions is why it's so heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. Because in all actuality, we both have the same goal, and that's Black unity. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's hard to see that because we've been targeted so much, so much, even by our own folks. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that, and tonight's show was it really was. We had a very good special guest that came on the show. Please follow, subscribe to all her stuff. We had the lovely IA back. Oh my gosh, Choo Radio just feels so amazing with IA back on there. Just want to let you know that. We had Mr. Grantastic. It's always here. And it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo. And listen, we'll see you guys next Monday. We have a very special guest on the show. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. Yeah, we on a bunch of stuff, bro. Like, yeah. No cap. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that, and we will see you guys next week. Deuces.